You've heard it being said that appearances can be deceiving. Basically, your mom and dad wanted to tell you that things are not always as they appear. All that glitters is not gold. I've been thinking on this for a while, and that led me to this saying. I don't know if someone has said it before or not, but let's say this thought came to me and I'm presenting this to you. It may sound a bit contradictory at first, but if you think over it, it makes a lot of sense. And the saying is, speak so that I may see you. Sounds a bit strange because when someone speaks, you get to hear them. How would you get to see them? Well, it's the same saying, appearances can be deceiving. When you do not meet someone in person, when you don't have a conversation with someone, your whole idea of who they are is based on the appearances you've had. Maybe you saw a film actor giving interviews, maybe you saw a cricketer greeting his or her fans. In a variety of scenarios, when you have not talked to a person one on one, sitting across the table, you don't get an idea of who they are, at least in relation to you. So, your whole idea of them might be very skewed, might be very uh, miscalculated, or might be flat out wrong. When you have conversations with people and they reveal themselves through the way they speak. Because the way we speak manifests what's generally there in our head. And it's very, very difficult to be able to put up a facade for a very long time. Sooner or later, who we are eventually either shows up on our face or reveals itself through our tongue. So it's often said that an angry person or a drunk person often ends up telling the truth in moments of drunkenness and anger. Similarly, when you speak with a person, the concept of speak so that I may see you applies to them. Someone who you thought was a very horrible person from what you could see apparently, maybe through their own destructive habits, is someone who's very nice at heart but is struggling with himself or herself. They spoke to you, and maybe you came to know of some of their altruistic activities. Maybe you came to know that a long time ago they donated a large sum of money to some charitable organization. Maybe they donated blood or they had donated one of their organs. There could be a host of things that can make a seemingly bad person good in your eyes based on what they've told you. Now, whether that's the truth or not is something completely different. Here, we're assuming that you found out that what was said was true. There was sufficient evidence to back that up. So, the way someone speaks tells a lot about who they are, how they think, and what's going on in their head. And generally, what comes out of someone's mouth is a lot about their ability to articulate their thoughts, their ability to put their feelings and thoughts in a cogent manner in front of you. And someone who is struggling to put their feelings and thoughts in a cogent manner in front of you, although they may be kind hearted and have good intentions, may not be someone very effective at doing what needs to get done. Use this tool to prevent yourself from falling into the trap of judging by appearances. They say that the first impression is often the last impression. Maybe that applies to you making a first impression on someone, but don't allow someone's first impression to impress you. Because in our first encounter with someone, we generally don't meet the core of who they are, we meet their best representative, which means that appearances matter a lot in the first meeting. But knowing someone over the course of time would require you to speak with that person and have that person speak to you. And the way a person speaks to you will sooner or later reveal who they are, because that will allow you to see the difference in their words and their actions. And the wider the gap between someone's words and actions, the less trustworthy they are. There are very few people whose words coincide with their actions 100%. There is a small gap in many cases, but in some cases it's too wide. So it's up to you to decide what gap is acceptable to you between someone's words and actions. But it is true that the more someone speaks, the more you can see them. And by see them, I mean their personality or their character. Because just appearances, how someone looks, or someone's body language is not always enough to conclude things about them.